Time to put the Skycutter bolt throwers through some additional battlefield testing. So between this video and if you watch my video with Greasus, where I was up against Turin, and he was just absolutely melting my face with Skycutters, even though I did end up winning. Yeah, they've had some changes already since then. They've had their ammo count reduced and their cost increased. And so I'm going to take them today against Khorne, and we're going to see how they do, maybe putting them in some different kind of situations. Right now, you can see, obviously, they are jumping in on these Furies. I was feeling very brave with my martial prowess. I've got a couple of Reaver Archers here, and then a couple of Skycutter Bolt Throwers. We're going to jump them in immediately. Sea Elemental here with Teclis and Skarbrand not on their Phoenixes. Keepers of the Flame and Blades of Hoeth as well. A couple of Ships Company, so a very small build for me. My opponent, HDS, has taken a pretty nice Khorne build, I must say. A couple of Wrathmongers, he's got Marauders of Khorne, some Chaos Furies there, a couple of Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. Of course, Khorne only has throwing axes. Skarbrand, and then, yeah, some Warhounds and Furies here in a big blob. And I'm gonna take this melee engagement for science. We're taking the melee engagement for science. Charging in the bolt throwers here with the Illyrian Reavers sort of acting as an anvil just to see how they'll do against Furies and Hound type units. And this is a pretty real world scenario, right? To get a big mobile engagement like this. And my Illyrian Reaver Archers, I honestly probably make a mistake here in trying to pull them back, but I'm like, I have supporting infantry relatively close. Let's just pull back a little bit, see if we can screen out and maybe get a few of these units more isolated. We do manage to break the Chaos Warhounds, but I don't really have an effective follow-up, just because the numbers game isn't necessarily in my favor, and Skarbrand is coming over here, so that's going to be a problem. He'll throw a breath attack there. Cuts through some of the Ships Company, maybe hits the Skycutters a tiny bit, but we're going to pull up with the Skycutters and pelt him with a few bolts and see what develops then. I did sort of lose my initial initiative, I guess, of getting that engagement, and both those Warhounds came back from rout with most of their HP still, so yeah, didn't capitalize on that as well as I could have, perhaps, but how well could I have actually capitalized on it with relatively low numbers that I have? But anyway, yeah, the Skycutter is going to be going forward. They are shooting bolts at just whatever right now, even though I think they're off fire at will, which is another issue I've noticed they have. But now let's see what we can do here. I'm once again going to get a little bit aggressive with them. Like, okay, you probably shouldn't do this, but again, for science, if I can get a clean sort of 2v2 versus these Furies here, I want to see how it goes. Especially Khorne Furies are quite strong. These ones have taken some damage. But after the initial charge, things are going to turn against me pretty badly, and I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. Skycutters only have 30 melee attack, so even against the 18 of Chaos Furies, they're not going to be great. And of course, I failed to account for the giant bloody winged elephant in the room, which is Skarbrand's Rampage is going to draw them down onto the ground and set up a beautiful hammer and anvil for his Furies and Hounds to rear charge me. So yeah, for science, ends up costing me pretty badly here. The Marauder Horsemen of Khorne also pull up. They're going to throw some axes, get some nice little armor-piercing volleys there. And the Reavers at this point, a little bit late on the assist, come in and attempt to screen, see if I can get the Skycutters back in the air and do something useful. Meanwhile, on the front line, these Swordmasters of Hoeth Regiment of Renown and the Elemental, I just wanted to quickly highlight because they are going to have a great time here, just cutting through literally everything. Even these Wrathmongers are going to have a tough time against that Regiment of Renown Swordmaster. But yeah, back to the Skycutters. We get them in the air. One of them is now going to get chased off by Furies as it gets straight routed. He actually had more Furies. Where did those come from? They must have been just somewhere else. Anyway, yeah, more Furies appear, full health, and that's going to be the end for my Skycutters. I even try and throw a regrowth from Teclis on this one, but there's no hope. And did I manually land them? I definitely should have if I didn't try and get those Reavers maybe in a melee rear charge against those Furies. But yeah, this one gets paced off very painfully by like a wavering Fury. Oh, I guess the full health one as well. But yeah, Teclis then is next on being meat for the Khorne Grinder. He's gonna very, very safely stay by these Phoenix Guard for now. Khorne also kind of chasing Skarbrand across the field. And, he's a halberd dude, so he's going to be pretty slow at doing that. Yeah, the ship's company also traded all right against enemy marauders, Khorne marauders in particular. I'm quite pleased with the overall value trade. Not incredible for me, but respectable. Some Captain the Phoenix Guard heal on these Keepers of the Flame. And they have been taking some damage from the Wrathmongers, but this Blades of Hoeth already ran through one and has gotten 1,200 damage value already. They're going to come in and deal with the other Wrathmongers. They've taken quite a bit of damage themselves, but then, yeah, Skarbrand with his double steel chair is just absolutely not to be trifled with. Very, very upset about having to face Skycutters and just about everything else as well, because he's Skarbrand. He's going to come in and try and murder Teclis, which he almost does. And then Teclis tries to get away, but finds his path blocked by some Wrathmongers. He's going to throw one Panic Regrowth onto those Blades of Hoeth as a last-ditch effort to try and survive here, and then gets promptly killed by Skarbrand. And I do mean killed. Did you see where he went? Oh, I thought he would get fully dismembered, but there you go. Yeah, I need to turn up the dismemberments on this game. But yeah, the Wrathmongers get absolutely destroyed. The Sea Elemental also. I'm fine to take these missiles. They are flaming physical missiles, so they're going to do, well, pretty minimal damage. They'll be, yeah, 70% mitigated there, so Sea Elemental is actually nice for tanking those shots. Gets in there, manages to terrify away some of the Marauder Horsemen, so not a complete disaster, just mostly a disaster with losing the Skycutters and the Reavers, and now Teclis. And now Skarbrand is free to cycle charge his way to potential victory here. I do have the halberd character of Khorne and Keepers of the Flame. Maybe I can hold out. Blades of Hoeth also elite stats with armor piercing. Maybe can do some damage to Skarbrand in this round. And certainly with their magic damage anti-infantry, they can cut through whatever supporting Furies, Wrathmongers, whatever else is left. So the Sea Elemental trying to run from Skarbrand right now. Get back to the safety of the halberds. Yeah, he does have some mitigation against Skarbrand's attacks since he has the fire resistance, but then also the magic resistance cuts through his physical resistance, so kind of a complex interaction there. Actually, probably a good one to teach how resistances work, maybe in a future video. I might do like how resistances actually work, because I do see some common misconceptions about how the resistances are applied, and like what magic or spell resistance and fire resistance and everything else. Yeah, and like the magic and fire damage and contact effects, and there's a lot of misconceptions. But anyway, yeah, Skarbrand here, dueling it out with the Sea Elemental while the rest of my army tries their best to hold. Keepers of the Flame getting another heal there, and some physical resistance, but it won't really matter too much against the Furies. The Blade Masters of Hoeth also just cutting down those Wrathmongers there. Trying to finish them off. Of course, the Khorne Horsemen are great in melee as well, so they're going to throw a little supporting charge in onto the Broken Phoenix Guard and Chip's Company. Some Reavers mixed in here somehow. It's, yeah, it's a bloody mess for sure, which is exactly what Khorne wants. Now, the Sea Elemental and Khorne getting surrounded without any infantry support. Going to be a relatively quick end for them, probably. The Furies actually come in, and the Khorne Furies in a surround do a ton of damage to the Sea Elemental, actually, because they have just straight magic damage. They don't have any fire modifiers. Sea Elemental, once it targets them, is able to do a lot of damage, but kind of getting pushed around by Skarbrand, stagger locked, especially on that charge with their frenzy charge bonus. I guess they're tired enough that it's still down, but still though, 44 weapon strength with magic damage. Then Skarbrand himself, of course, finishes the Sea Elemental very cinematically. You get the Oceanid summon, but it's not going to matter too much against all the angry Khorne lads that are left. Khorne trying to hold out. He then gets charged and rampaged by Skarbrand, and let's see. Skarbrand's weapon strength is up to 680. I say up to. I don't think he took the weapon strength increases, but just in general, 680 weapon strength. Ultimately, Khorne is a foot character without that much HP. So if he takes a few big hits from a big beat stick like Skarbrand, he's going to go down pretty quickly. That's exactly what happens when Skarbrand focuses his attention on him. So yeah, I get decisively defeated there by HDS, and fun replay overall for sure. Definitely learned some things. Yeah, the Skycutters, the non-bolt thrower ones would probably be a lot better against Furies because they have magic bows. I think that fire while they're in melee as well. So they actually probably could trade against Khorne Furies, but in this case, probably Khorne and Slaanesh Furies, maybe Tzeentch as well. Yeah, you're not going to be able to trade effectively with them in that kind of a situation, which is something that I learned here. I mean, I have seen other, videos, replays, things where the Skycutters kind of charging like light cavalry and different things, so you definitely can use them aggressively. I think I just kind of overestimated their performance here, which is maybe not to be too surprising with a new unit, but yeah, the Elemental got some great damage here. I do think he's a pretty solid pick against Khorne overall. Has some nice synergies here. The Blades of Hoeth also gets some great value, just cutting up Wrathmongers. And the Phoenix Guard, not so much. Very expensive Phoenix Guard, not necessarily paying for themselves, but that's, I guess, somewhat to be expected. Skarbrand is one of the best single entities in the game, and his ability to kind of run around and not just stand on halberds and die is pretty good. 4,175 gold value for him, 18,000 damage dealt. Yeah, Marauders get some respectable value. The Wrathmongers get close to 1,000 each, which isn't great, but it's something. The Marauder Horsemen of Khorne also super excellent, but then, yeah, look at the Furies. This is the one I think that got the surround there. Got a really good charge on the Sea Elemental, because that is a lot of value. And now, granted, they did get some good value also probably from killing the Skycutters and chasing them off as well. But yeah, the Furies of Khorne just absolutely ruined me here in this particular replay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.